Did you hear that?
Usually when we do an investigation, I will come out with the video highlighting the EVPs and evidence that we captured from that investigation shortly thereafter. I haven't done that here lately for various reasons. Just first of all, we did a lot of investigations kind of right there together, so we've just had a lot to go through. Number two, there's a couple of them we just really didn't get a whole lot. Of course, possibly the reason we didn't get a whole lot at the Spanish Fort Cemetery is because I'm an idiot and forgot to turn the voice recorder on. So, but really, we really haven't been getting a whole lot off the voice recorder anyway. There was, it was one of the trips to to Belknap. I think the first trip we made to Belknap. A couple of things picked up on that were questionable, but I decided to write them both off. But we did get some pretty good stuff at Spanish Fort, which I'm going to present here, and then at the end, I'm going to play one thing from another investigation. I said there just wasn't enough there to make its own video, so I'm going to put it in this one. It's our daytime investigation at Belknap Bridge. Oh, and also the one from Jed Johnson Dam. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the one at Jed Johnson Dam. Now, if you watch that whole video, you'll notice that through the whole video, you will hear music in the background. I just decided not to make a clip of that. We don't know where that music was coming from. It was, we didn't hear it at first, but it's one of those things, once you heard it, you couldn't not hear it, and it picks up through the whole video. And we never did figure out where that music was coming from. We thought maybe it be something from the Holy City, which is nearby. But I mean, it was played the entire time we were there, and I don't know of anything they were doing at the Holy City to be playing music that loud for that long. So that's just kind of evidence in itself. But if you just want to go watch the whole video, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the videos I'm talking about up in the upper right-hand corner. But we did, as far as anything else, we did get this one thing. So let me go ahead and play this clip. Okay, that was just not long before we left. Now, at one point, I went back up the steps a little ways because I noticed when I backed off a little bit, they started getting a little bit more response. They were, I think Laney got touched at one point, and I just went ahead and backed off. I came back down and set my camera there to try and capture anything that might go on. Picked up that little noise there. Really I just can't identify where it came from. There was nothing down there that could have made that noise. It was the only time it picked up through the whole video. I don't know, just didn't really know what to make of it. It's just kind of an unidentifiable noise. Now, there was one other thing that happened in the video. We heard it, and it didn't pick up nearly as loud on the video as we heard it with our own ears, but it sounded to me like a bottle landing. And I heard it. Amy heard it. I think Laney heard it as well. But I kind of looked up, and there was, as we were leaving, there actually was a guy up there messing around a tree. So maybe it could have been him, and he was kind of an odd fellow. He was pulling on tree branches, and he could have been just throwing something around. So I just went ahead and wrote that one off as well. But I thought we picked up this one sound. When I first heard it, I thought maybe it was a voice saying "Mama." The more I listened to it, the less it sounded like that, but can't really tell if it's a voice or if it's something else, but it's just an odd sound. I'm going to play 4 more. All of these are going to be from the daytime investigation at the old Spanish Fort Cemetery. This is one of them that Pickle went with us. And we were getting a lot of hits on the K2 here. A lot of activity right around Dora Cook's grave again. The first time we went, there was a lot of activity around Dora Cook's grave. And as a matter of fact, 3 of the 4 things I'm going to play for you came from right around her grave. Now, we kind of split off there at first. Pickle was kind of having some equipment malfunctions, and Amy and Laney went off one direction. I think they were over there trying to find that Confederate soldier grave that we just all of a sudden we can't find anymore. And I went over to Dora's grave, and this is just like literally about 5 minutes after we got there. Go ahead and play this clip. Last time we were here, it seemed... Wow. Okay, there was that little noise. I say it's not a big thing, but just something picked up there that, and the reason, if it had just been that noise, I might not have thought too much about it, but the fact that, I started to speak, then that noise came up at the same time. I started getting hits on the K2, and like I said, the hits on the K2 out there were not just little hits. I mean, it was hitting red. And something that somebody else also pointed out, every time we were getting a lot of activity, the animals would really kick in the high gear. You could hear a cow or a bull or something, because on the other side of that fence from the cemetery at somebody else's property, they have animals, horses and then cows that'll come up near the fence. You can hear something going nuts out there. And I just thought that was unusual. Okay, that not just a couple of minutes after that, here's a noise that I actually picked up several times. It picked up on the recorder, on the video every time the noise did. I heard this 4 or 5 times, 6 times while we were out there. Like I say, it picked up every time. This is the first time I heard it. And you'll notice I do react. Let's go ahead and play the clip. So it's that little blip sound. It, as I describe it in the video, it just sounds kind of like somebody dropping a pebble in a pool of water or something, just kind of boink. And of course it was mist and rain out there, but it's not like there was a pool of water, not even so much as a puddle, but that we just kept hearing that noise, sounding like a little, like I say, the best way I can describe it is it sounded like a pebble being dropped into a little pool of water. And I say I picked up several times out there. Okay, I think I said that there was going to be 4 clips from Spanish Fort, but I think I'm going to knock it down to 3. The last one over by Dora's grave, just right before we left, there was a noise, but after listening to it again, I think it might be Pickle, so I'm that's making that noise. So I'm just going to go ahead and scratch that one, write that one off, and we'll go ahead and play this one, which is the only thing we got anywhere other than right by Dora's grave. Let's go ahead and play this. This is over by the grave of 2 people named W.R. and Lana Davis. I don't know if that would be his wife or...
Lana? Ooh.
98. There, it sounds like a distant yelling, but the very first time I heard it, I thought it sounded like somebody yelling, Lana. Lana. Not so sure, but it does sound like somebody yelling. I don't remember hearing anybody yell while we were out there. If anybody else heard it, nobody pointed it out. And it does make me wonder, that first time we went out to Spanish Fort, the nighttime investigation, we could hear gunfire and stuff. Of course, it's way out in the country. And we could hear gunfire and stuff, and we thought, well, it's, people, we've got a big wild hog problem around here. So it could be people just out there taking care of that. And we would hear people yell every now and then, but I just wrote all that off as not really anything to concern myself with, because it was people, out firing guns and stuff, so I figured just people yelling and stuff. No, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was something else, because, like I say, that one picked up. It sure sounded to me like somebody yelling Lana. Like I say, if anybody else heard it while we were out there, they didn't say anything. This last one is from our daytime investigation at Belknap Bridge. And if you're not familiar with Belknap Bridge, well, go watch the videos with Belknap Bridge. But just real quick, it was a young girl was murdered there in 1996. And, well, let me just go ahead and play this clip real quick. And I'll talk more about it after you watch it. This is something that if you watched the daytime investigation of Belknap Bridge, if you watched that video, I'm quite sure you saw it. But we'll just go ahead and take another look at it here, because there is something I want to touch on.
I just want to see if we pick up gun or gunshot or anything like that again.
Faith, this and over.
Hmm.
So Faith, this and over.
Well, there went the bottle.
Faith, this and over. Faith, this and over. Faith, this and over.
Okay, now in that last part of the clip, I didn't slow the sound down. I just mostly wanted to make it the visual thing. But okay, the wind. Of course, it was just a soda bottle that I had found laying out there and had a little bit of soda still in it. The wind was not blowing very hard that day, for a change. Yeah, we'd get a little gust of wind every now and then. But you can tell by looking at Amy and Laney's hair, it was not blowing that hard. It doesn't take much of a wind blowing against that microphone on that camera to make it seem like there's a tornado going on. Wasn't getting that. And, the bottle had been sitting there for a good while. We had, the wind, if there was any kind of light breeze going at that time, that had definitely been blowing harder than that leading up to that time. I don't think it was the wind blowing that bottle over. And then plus it happened just right as Laney was picking up those words on her device. Faith, this, and over. And when I set that bottle down, I had said, see if you can knock this bottle over and into the water, and that'll let us know that you're here. And we get faith, this, and over. And the bottle again, and you could tell looking at it, it wasn't something that it didn't teeter, it didn't kind of wobble and then fall over. It looked like it got knocked over hard enough that the bottom of it actually bounced up as it hit. People are going to believe what they want to believe. People are going to have their own opinions on it. I believe that bottle was knocked over by something other than wind anyway. So, yeah, that's just going to have to be one of those judge for yourself kind of things and come to your own conclusion. Okay, well, that's all I've got for this video. Like I said, I'll come up with another one centered on some more stuff from the Belknap Bridge, as well as what wasn't even intended to be an investigation when we did it. It was just an abandoned location, just kind of a pit stop, spur of the moment. But we ended up picking up some stuff. That'll be coming later on. If you're new to the channel, all kinds of ways you can subscribe, and it's all free. You can click that one-way sign in the bottom right-hand corner. You got the circle at the end. You got the big red button on the front of the channel. And of course, if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for watching till the end. Thanks for watching, whatever the case, and I'll see you next time.